Hello and welcome back to another Smoke Signal synopsis. In this video, we'll be looking at what stories are in the September 1st, 2021 edition of the Smoke Signals newspaper. Before we begin, Election Day is approaching soon, so be sure to get your ballots in. On the front page, you'll see a large photo of Patrick Flanagan, who is taking over as director for the Legislative Commission of Indian Service. You can read more of Flanagan's 11 years of work in the Oregon Department of Justice as a lead prosecutor of environmental crimes and cultural resources enforcement, continued on page 11. Back on the front page, the Grand Ronde tribal government is continuing its pause of opening campus as COVID-19 cases continue to increase. This pause is expected to last through at least Labor Day weekend. The employees are working from home. As you can see, I am recording this synopsis from my home again. You can read more on that story on page 5. A few pages over, as COVID-19 cases continue to increase statewide, Spear Mountain Casino has reinstated its mask mandate to all employees and customers. You can read more on that and other tribal casino responses on page 3. Our last story on the front page is another installment in the Roads to Recovery series. This series examines addiction and recovery stories from within the Grand Ronde tribe. This 5th installment in this series shares Tanith McNeil's story. You can read her story of recovery from a heroin addiction on page 7. On page 2, the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde received its second disbursement of American Rescue Plan funds on August 13th, bringing the tribe's total disbursement to more than $51 million. Tribal Chairwoman Cheryl A. Kennedy may be setting more records this election, with the most cumulative votes received as a tribal council candidate in post-restoration elections. You can read that and more election records on page 3. Tribal Council approved a 2-year moratorium on disenrolling tribal members during its Wednesday, August 25th meeting. You can read more on that decision and other actions from that meeting on page 5. As another quarter ends, 96 employees were honored for a combined 1,278 years of service for the Grand Ronde tribe. You can read more on those years of service awards, including the impressive number of Linos who reached their anniversary of their hire date in April through June, continued on page 6. We have several photos to check out from recent tribal events. You can see photos from the royalty pageant on page 9, fish distribution on page 10, and preschool and Wawa graduation photos on page 12 and 13, respectively. And that was your Smoke Signal synopsis. You can read the entire paper now as a PDF at smokesignals.org or in the print edition coming soon. I'm Kamaya, the social media digital journalist for Smoke Signals.